You know what? You know what? I'm just going to start this thing early. Hold on. I'm going to let the music keep going, but let's just flip this over right now. Because I'm just going to break the rules. Since YouTube says I break the rules, I'm going to break the rules right. And just start this right now. Let me turn this music down. I am annoyed as all hell right now. But I'm not going to drop any live F-bombs. You know, the kind that come out of my mouth. Yet. So, as you can see, YouTube has decided to demonetize my entire channel. No warning, out of the blue, nothing I was anticipating, and I think I know why. I figured out why. It's kind of stupid. These YouTube shorts that people make and whatever. I did what was suggested by one of the top YouTube, creator suggestion and help people do, and I made some shorts using material from other things, and I put a little commentary and editorial statements in the titles, but apparently I didn't change them enough. And instead of just saying, hey P-Dog, Marty, whatever they call me over there at YouTube, instead of just saying, hey, can you take a couple of these down and we'll help you out here? No! Demonetized and cannot reapply until October 5th. Are you serious, YouTube? Are you serious? October 5th, 3 months? Now, fortunately, I do have, at least for the for people who want to donate to the channel, there's Streamlabs, there's Rumble Rants, there's other crap, right? But, I got a little tiny bit of revenue from YouTube, too. I mean, it was not so significant that it'll kill me, but it's just not the good timing. I'm going to be under the knife in October. I won't be able to work until October again. So I was really going to just spend time doing YouTube shit, trying to build this channel for 3 months. And now I'm gonna have to do it without monetization. When you're not monetized, they don't promote your any of your shit. Very, very irritating. But I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this today. I just named the damn stream this. And we'll work with what we work with. All right, enough of that. Johnny, please, play the intro. Yes, right now, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yep, that is me. Stop the music. That transition is terrible. I still have that stupid. I have that. What do you call it? The donation goal thing up there. I think it's gone. And it's still there. The goal was $76 on the 4th of July, 1776. We got pretty close. That's good. I should set a new one every day though, because now I'm gonna have to rely on this for a while. But that's not your problem. That's my problem. So, got a little email from YouTube this morning. While I was at work, I just happened to take a peek at my email when I was bored during a break. And it said this: Dear Dawg Knight, our team of policy specialists. Oh, they're policy specialists, huh? Policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you've uploaded to your channel, Dawg Knight. We found that a significant portion of your channel, a significant portion of my channel. What's a significant portion? I'd like to know what that means. Is not in line with our YouTube partner program policies. As of today, your channel is not eligible to monetize, and you will not have access to monetization tools and features. Please go to your Earn page in YouTube Studio to read more about the specific policy our specialist flagged. We know this is tough news, and sometimes we have to make difficult decisions to ensure our community is safe. Really? How does this make your community safe? I'm just curious. For creators, viewers, and advertisers, how does that make your community safe? What exactly what was on my channel that was unsafe? At the same time, we understand the mistake may have been unintentional. Well, if it's unintentional, well, what can I do about it? Well, here's my choices. If you believe that your channel was incorrectly suspended from YouTube Partner Program, you have the option to appeal within 21 days of suspension. Learn more about the appeal process, or you'll see the option to reapply for the YPP program 90 days from your suspension on the Earn page at YouTube Studios. This period allows you to make changes to your channel to make sure it's in line with our policies. If you reapply, our team will carefully look over your content again to make sure it meets our YPP policies. We will email you and update you in YouTube Studio once the process is complete. Find out how to reapply for monetization. You know, I've watched other people go through this, and this is there's an ideological bent to this situation. Let's put it that way. I'm just saying. Anyway, first sponsor today, FTG Farms. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. FTG, a longtime sponsor, FTG Farms. Oh, wait a minute. Music for FTG Farms. FTG Farms, Inc. donated a small bullet. FTG Farms would like to donate to the Dawg Fuck YouTube Fund. Thank you, FTG Farms. All right, turn that music off. So anyway, that's all. So anyway, we'll figure it out someday. I'm not going to even I'm not putting that email in the tweets today. We got a lot of news to do, but let's catch up with who's here first. First, the chat over on Rumble. Mike Savage, Blarg, gets the bell. Also, good morning, Jimmy Das Hotep's in the house. Septus Wolf is here. Avocados Diabli. And that's everybody over on Rumble. At least everyone who's chatted in the chat. There's 5 people in chat. So that's good. That's a good start. On the beloved YouTube. The beloved YouTube. There's quite a few people. Hit the like button, by the way, while you're sitting there looking at me or listening to me. Either one. Hit the like button. First in the chat is Somnambule Nation. Also, good morning to Rotten Corpse, Mike Savage, Blarg, Lord Stanhope, Selecta Boy. Yeah, boy. Also, Tyrannus, Alexandrius, the Invictus, Lich. Howdy also to Avocados Diabli, Lord Stanhope. Did I say Lord Stanhope already? I did. Okay. Tyler F's in the house. Renee Mayette, what's up? I was dropping F bombs. Hello, Sarah. How you doing? Welcome back. I'm sure Lady Boomer would like to hear would be happy that you're here today. Good morning to Maddie, who's in the house. Fake news experts here. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. Rick Ashbringer. Uncle Bobbity, what's up? What's up, my brother? All right, we're good. Let's go. Let's get the news. I got a lot. My headline, my thumbnail, and all that stuff. This thing here, and it should have been all about Hunter Biden today because there's some new revelations. It has nothing to do with the white powder found in the White House, but yes, there are new revelations of what's going on with the Biden family crime syndicate. And P-Dog Rainbow, what are you talking about? What's that mean? Anyway, the Biden family crime syndicate. Oh wait, I didn't do any. I'm sorry, I did back up a little bit. And Chicago Mike's over in Rumble too. I was late because I was in mid-dream about being a serial killer targeting Jeopardy contestants when I got the notification. Oh Lord, I'm not sure what that means. AD. Hello Chicago Mike, of course. I didn't really pull up the trending topics. There weren't a whole lot of interesting ones today. Usually there's some things that I want to talk about. Now, apparently Black Twitter is trending. I don't know why. The only one there's a couple that were interesting though. Mastodon. Oh, Twitter killer. That's the one I wanted to see. Apparently, Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook guys, right? Apparently they've launched a new Twitter clone app type thing called Threads, right? And I know how much everybody really hates Facebook. Like, people are on Facebook, but everybody kind of hates it. And so now they've got a Twitter killer called Threads. Apparently, oh my God, the Twitter killer is here. Rocket Man bad, Threads so much better. It's ran by checks notes Mark Zuckerberg. So anyway, Twitter killer Mark Zuckerberg constantly tags Facebook posts as false. I don't need some left-wing fact checker telling what their opinion. Yeah, they love the Twitter killer app. Looks like Twitter. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put this over on the screen real quick because I know you can't see what I'm talking about. I probably won't even post the link to this. This is the only thing I'm going to show you today. And according to Vox, the much hyped new Twitter killer app Threads is here, and it looks a lot like Twitter, which is exactly the point. Really? Facebook streaming killed Twitch. Like Facebook streaming killed Twitch. Exactly. Like Facebook. I don't think people like Mark Zuckerberg. Let's look at the Vox article on this. I'm just curious. Here it is. What you need to know about Threads. Instagram's new Twitter killer app. Yes. Again, just like Facebook video killed what's it called? Twitch. I don't use Twitch that much, but I occasionally go over there. Time to stop using YouTube. Well, look, Mike, I'm looking at what they sent me, and I went through some of the videos that I could see where they might be that issue, right? The issue that they described to me. Problem is, when they do it just like, boom. I mean, I've been in here for what, 7 years. I've been in YouTube. Been doing the stream for just over 4 years, over 1,000 live streams, whatever. Lots of videos over the time, okay? And the idea that they're just going to, without warning, boom, you're demonetized. That's what pisses me off. Not that I may have, I very well, as I read what the guideline they have and what I put up there, I see exactly what I could do. I could remove all that stuff immediately and be within compliance, but they don't give you that option. They'd say 90 days. And it's like, come on. Are you serious? Not without a warning, without any, even just demonetizing the videos in question like they do sometimes. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. What you need to know about Threads, Twitter, Instant, blah, blah, blah app. Instagram, much hyped new Twitter killer app Threads is here, and it looks a lot like Twitter, which is exactly the point. Many social media users are ready, desperate, even, for a solid Twitter replacement. Yeah, you want to go someplace where there's an echo chamber where it's going to be really boring. Twitter will not die because of this. As the app has been going through a particularly rough phase and what many see as a gradual product degeneration under Elon Musk's leadership, last weekend the company started limiting the number of tweets people can read, a questionable business decision that was widely unpopular with users. While there are some alternates out there, like Mastodon and Blue Sky, none have grown to surpass Twitter's popularity with a critical mass of politically or culturally influential figures. That's because they suck! And also, the guy who does Occupy Democrats, he's been trying to push his stupid app too, and they can't even get 100,000 people on it. Anyway, so Meta-owned Instagram decided to strike while the iron is hot. The Threads app was initially expected to launch later this month, not only to be moved up to this Thursday, and now to today. The app will start to go live for users in 100 countries, though reportedly not in the European Union. Uh-oh! What? Why not? More on that later. Our vision with Threads, blah, 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 blah. Functionally, Threads is similar to Twitter with some minor differences. You can write short posts of up to 500 characters that include links, photos, short videos, up to 5 minutes in length. Your Threads feed will be algorithmic, which means it will be populated by a mix of people you follow and recommended content. Much like Instagram now, Twitter gives you the option to toggle between algorithmic and chronologically based feed for only people you follow, but overall, based on early screenshots of the app shared with Fox, the app looks and feels quite similar. Well, yippee-ki-yo, ki-yay, MFer. How to use it, what's it like? Now, this is Vox, mind you. Vox, mind you. To use Threads, you'll have to download it as a standalone app in the Apple or Android store. Once you have the app, you can log in with your Instagram account and choose to follow the same people you already follow on that platform. This is one of the Thread's biggest advantages over other Twitter replacement apps. Over 2 billion people have built-in social network on Instagram. And unlike, say, with Mastodon, you don't have to completely recreate your follower base from scratch. The Instagram and Threads worlds are very much Here's the problem, though. There's a lot of people on Twitter who hate Instagram, too. I'm just saying. Apparently there's wait a minute. Threads is the first app from Meta to push towards decentralization. The idea that users should be able to port their social media content and interact with users across different apps, all built on the same underlying standards. Mastodon is the most popular social network to run on a decentralized model, which advocates say can produce a better internet no longer dominated by a single social media company. Threads similarly plans to take the decentralized approach, but it isn't there yet. Okay, whatever. Okay, no, I'm not going to give it to Vox. Who cares? I got to tell you. Again, this is going to probably go the way of whatever that video platform that Facebook was trying to get all the Twitch streamers on. I don't think so. Reading Vox is more damaging than dying of smallpox. Yeah, it kind of is, right? All right, let's talk about, let's get into some real news, because I said that we're going to get a real news day, and I got a lot, actually. I have a lot, and so we'll probably touch lightly on it. There's a few FTGs out there, though, and it is FTG Thursday, which I haven't really done a whole lot of lately, but let's start with this one. Y'all are familiar with BlackRock, right? Hello, Annalyn, how you doing? Annalyn, how you doing? Okay. Y'all familiar with BlackRock? Is that Larry Fink? I've never seen him with his glasses on. So Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, says BlackRock, we don't say ESG anymore. Because remember, like a lot, there's a Napster book. Yeah, exactly. We don't say ESG anymore. Weaponized by the far left and far right, we lose the conversation. Wednesday, during an appearance on Fox Business Network's The Claman Connection, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink griped about how the term ESG, which stands for Environmental, Social, and Corporate Governance, has been weaponized. Well. Yeah, by BlackRock. BlackRock, we must force behaviors, BlackRock. The BlackRock, we must force you on behaviors on gender and race and blah, 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 blah. And we're going to make and since BlackRock owns a majority of a shit ton of companies, and they're going to try to force their social mores upon you, and you must act like, socially whatever, this and that, rather than just be companies that make shit that people want. Anyway, Fink touted his belief that decarbonization technology was needed, but said he no longer used the term ESG because of its political connotations. Well, yeah, it's like DEI for corporations, basically. They did a transcript here. Well, some of this has to do with what you have been behind for many years, and that's ESG, environmental, social, and governance. Fink says, right. Gasparino, you can say those words, right? Fink says, oh, I don't say them anymore. Yeah, because everyone thinks you're an asshole when you do. Claiming, my God, we won't go there. Larry, much of the nation is broiling hot right now. Oh, God. Fink says, yes. Claiming, we can throw up a weather map, and it's pretty unbelievable. A lot of records have been broken, particularly in the Southwest. You know what else has been broken? Another record that's broken? The cool streak in California. Part of the Southwest is hot, but the West is cold. It haven't had an 80-degree day yet this year in summer. Usually between May and July, they haven't had an 80-degree day yet. In Minnesota, I woke up to 60 degrees today. That's unusually cool for this time of year, and got barely up to 70 yesterday. Turned my air conditioner off. Opened all the windows because it felt so nice outside. That's not summer in Minnesota. Summer in Minnesota is hot. LA knows no record cold streak. No. I'm not saying okay. I didn't mean record cold streak. They've had, but it's an unusually cool summer so far in LA. We just read the story yesterday that it has not been. It has not been. What is it? Has not had an 80-degree day yet in Southern California, which is weird. It's just weird. Anyway. All right. Enough of this stuff, though. Wait, the record is skipping. Yeah, it's just weird. The temperature, it's climbing all over the country. Anyway, they're not going to say ESG anymore. I don't know what that means. I'm not putting 18 minutes of him on here, though. So anyway, but then they said the other day that it was the hottest day ever recorded on the planet worldwide the other day. And I'm like, but only since we've been keeping records. And then they put these graphs up, and they only went back to 1979, but they've had weather records since like the late 1800s, which is a minute portion of the lifespan of our planet so far. Because I know before the Ice Age, the dinosaurs lived in water, and there was a whole lot of land that was covered in water. There were no ice caps back then, and somehow we have ice caps now, even though they, whatever. So anyway, my favorite saying, global warming ever since the Ice Age. So anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about today. The only reason I talked about it is because I accidentally put that. What the hell's going on here? Why did this get all switched around? Where are my articles on? Okay, this somehow all my articles got out of order. I don't know how. Well, let's just go down the line because we got a lot of them. Speaking of California, Gavin Newsom seems to be having a problem. He's scrambling to revamp his opioid plan as another deadly drug washes over the California streets. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is revamping his plan to combat opioid abuse as the veterinary tranquilizer xylazine, also known as Trank, ravages the state. Thank you, Chicago Mike. Wait, what? Thank you, Chicago Mike, dropping a big bullet in the tip jar. And Chicago Mike, you are the new Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. Chicago Mike says, this episode of the Dawg Knight Show is brought to you by Zombie Juice. It's the juice found at the White House as a white powder, is in the same place used to keep Keith Richards alive, is being used in the White House by someone there. Thank you, Zombie Juice. Thank you, Chicago Mike. I really torched that when I read it. Zombie Juice is the same substance that keeps Keith Richards alive. Somebody in the White House is using it. I wonder who. I wonder who. Who's taking the cocaine in the White House? Hello, Rod Line. Nice to see you. What is this? Udo. I don't know what that means. All right, let's talk about this. Let's get back to this article here. So apparently, you know how they've been finding fentanyl and everything, and that's messing people up. Well, now there's also a new drug. It's a veterinary tranquilizer called xylazine. And apparently, California approved $30 million to fund its production of naloxone, the anti-overdose drug used in name-brand medications like Narcan, in order to help address the state's fentanyl epidemic, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. But fentanyl is increasingly being laced with Trank, aka xylazine, which can make overdose treatments like naloxone less effective. So, you know how they kind of, I don't know, they technically decriminalized drug use in California because they've been using naloxone to stop the fentanyl overdoses, right? Well, unfortunately, now there's this animal tranquilizer, and it's not what's the one, not hydrochloroquine. What's the one that they were calling horse paste for well, anyway. So Gavin Newsom has this tweet: gun safety. California's gun safety laws work and are a model for the nation. Since the 1980s, we've cut our gun death rate in half thanks to common sense policies that save lives. Really? I don't know. Ivermectin, yeah. But then fentanyl, like the President of the United States, California is taking action to crack down on fentanyl. Last year, the state seized enough fentanyl to kill the population of North America twice. There's a lot more work to do, and we'll work with our federal partners every step of the way. Well, recognizing the opioid and fentanyl crisis is a multifaceted public health and public safety issue, Gavin Newsom is leading a comprehensive approach to save lives. A spokesman for Newsom's office told the Daily Caller the governor recently released a master plan for tackling the fentanyl and opioid crisis, outlining aggressive steps to support overdose prevention efforts, to hold the opioid pharmaceutical industry accountable, crack down on drug trafficking, and raise awareness on the dangers of opioids, including fentanyl. Now, this master plan takes into consideration emerging threats like xylazine, also known as Trank, and builds on the governor's $1 billion investment in this space, including expansion of California National Guard-supported operations that last year led to a 594% increase in seized fentanyl, which means there was 1,000% increase in how much actually got through. And additionally, as a part of the master plan through CalRx, California is seeking a contract for the development of a lower-cost nasal spray version of the opioid overdose reversal drug naloxone, the spokesman said. But here's the problem. Okay, we read that earlier in the article. Xylazone effectiveness in stopping overdoses of fentanyl are made less effective by the fact that much of the fentanyl is now being cut in with Trank, aka xylazine. And so, one step forward and 2 steps back. Is that the line in opposites track? Anyway, so they're trying to figure it out, and it's a terrible thing happening in our country with that kind of shit. All right, and in fact, the CDC also is stating that reports that overdose cases involving the horse tranquilizer xylazine are exploding. Public health officials are confirming something our coverage has been suggesting: overdoses and death associated with a horse tranquilizer called xylazine are exploding. The number of xylazine-involved overdose deaths nationwide rose from 102 in 2000. Listen to this. Listen to this change. From 102 in 2018. Now that's, to 3,468 in 2021. 30 times more. Now, 30 times more sounds really bad, but it's still at 3,400 cases, but that's a big increase. Is that going to be exponential? Who knows? The findings come a day after another CDC study found that by June 2022, xylazine was involved in nearly 11% of all fatal fentanyl overdoses. That's nearly a fourfold increase from January 2019, when it was present in almost 3% of cases. And then they also say, the report shows the explosion of xylazine-related deaths began in 2018, with overdose fatalities rising to 627 in 2019, doubling to 1,499 in 2020, and doubling again in 2021. So if do the math, we should be up to about 12,000 of these deaths now in 2023. And if that, we don't want that. That's a bad trend. That's not a good trend. And they have more information on it. So anyway, start expecting to hear more stories about xylazine. Okay, moving on. Oh, now, speaking of the CDC, apparently, the CDC has been finding a way, I don't know how they do this, but altering death certificates. They're in the death certificate altering business. Now, you would think that when we're talking about altering death certificates, we'd be talking about how they, said that, you should, if anyone has a trace of COVID in their body, no matter how they died, you can count it as a COVID death, whether they fell off a roof or got hit by on a motorcycle or whatever. But this is a little bit different now. Listen to this deal. Apparently, the CDC altered death certificates to remove COVID vaccine as the cause. Why would they want to do that? Why would they ever want to do that? I don't know. The CDC removed COVID vaccine as the cause of death on a number of Minnesota death certificates, according to an anonymous tipster, and that has the Brownstone Institute referring to the health agency as the Center for Data Concealment. The tipster, and I'm sure you can understand why they chose to remain anonymous, was able to get their hands on the complete set of Minnesota death certificates from 2015 on. Aaron Hertzberg's deeply detailed report digs deep into the federal bureaucrat. I'll post that article too. In the federal bureaucratic requirements involved in filling out local death certificates all over the country. The extremely short version is that while local coroners fill out death certificates with the cause or causes of death, the CDC later applies an international classification of diseases, CD-10 code. ICD has an alphanumeric code for everything from fall, involving ice skates, skis, roller skates, or skateboards, to Florida man got drunk and tried to kiss a barracuda. Okay, we're joking on that last one. But anyway, the critical thing to keep in mind is that the person filling out the death certificate writes a text description of the COD, which is the classification of disease, but doesn't assign the ICD-10 codes that the COD puts on there. So this application is usually made by a secret algorithm, but there's a tiny percentage of cases adjudicated by the CDC staff when the algorithm is unable to confidently assign an ICD code. Now, what you need to know next is that the ICD-10 code, T88.1, is the COD for, quote, other complications following immunization not elsewhere classified. And then the other one's for viral vaccines. They have another code. So there are 3 death certificates in Minnesota tranche that contain either a T88.1 or 59-0. One is for a flu vaccine reaction, and surprisingly, the other two are for COVID vaccine. What the tipster found, and we're glossing over a lot of details, was that the CDC removed or refused to add the ones that indicated COVID vaccine death from the Minnesota death certificates that indicated that someone died from complications involving a COVID vaccine. So, the CDC. Oh, wow. Thank you, Retro Veteran Gamer, dropping a what's the Hamilton? No, who's on the 20? I don't know who's on the 20. But thank you for dropping a 20 spot in Rumble Rants. Someday I'll figure out how to get that. It says demonetized. Take this, YouTube. Well, thank you very much. And I greatly appreciate that for dropping some dough in the tip jar. Appreciate it. So anyway, the CDC's fucking around with death certificates again. Andrew Jackson. Yes, dropped it. Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. All right. Next. What else is next? What else we got? More CDC news. Oh yeah, this is the Brownstone Institute again. This is the original article on this from the Brownstone Institute. CDC altered Minnesota death certificates that listed COVID vaccine as the cause of death. So now we got there's two articles that'll be in the links, and stay informed with Brownstone. Let's move on. The nation's largest teachers union, has some recommended reading for teachers over the summer. Great. One of the books that they're recommending is Genderqueer. You know, the book with the the illustrations of sex acts for kids, you know? And then they're also suggesting the book White Fragility. The nation's largest teachers union, the National Education Association, recommended Monday that teachers spend their summer reading White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, that grifting hoot, and the sexually explicit graphic novel Genderqueer by Maya Kobabe, and White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo appear on the NEA's list of great summer reads for educators, which was published in June. Genderqueer includes pornographic cartoon illustrations of sex between two males with a sex toy, as well as oral sex, masturbation, and other sexually explicit content. Parents across the country have raised hell over the sexually explicit book by being available to children in school libraries. In fact, Genderqueer was the most challenged title in the country, according to the American Library Association's annual report of the most banned books of 2022, which was released in March. The book appears under the banned books section of the NEA list. And then White Fragility, if you're not familiar with Robin DiAngelo, basically, I wouldn't say she's white guilt lady, whatever, is a book that explores why white people are so bad at talking about racism, the NEA said in a commentary published along with the recommended book list. Another book in the summer recommended reading are All Boys Aren't Blue, the memoir of an LGBT activist. The NEA has also a section on books to celebrate or understand Juneteenth. Fan-fucking-tastic. Look, I don't know why. What's so hard about understanding Juneteenth? It's everyone understands the holiday, and look, I have no problem celebrating. It's celebrating freedom in America, so you should be okay with Juneteenth. It's like I don't know that it needs to be a major day off federal holiday, but they made it that way. But it's a holiday where you celebrate freedom, right? People celebrating freedom. Everyone should be cool with that. Now, if it's shoved down your throat because someone's trying to make a point, no, that's not cool. But still, it's a holiday that celebrates freedom. But it's not a replacement for any other holiday. It's not a replacement for the 4th of July, because some people thought it was that they were trying to replace the 4th of July. Nah, but there are some people out there who are stupid and say, black people shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. They should only celebrate Juneteenth. Well, I disagree. I think we can celebrate both, and because both are, any day you celebrate freedom and have the government not working is a fantastic day to me. So anyway, but I don't know why they have to understand Juneteenth. It's a piece of history. It's just read a history book about it. So anyway, Juneteenth was an American holiday in Texas. It never was and never will be a Pan-African holiday. Exactly. It's an American holiday. Anyway, what else? They said the NEA also provides recommendations reading for children in its Read Across America books on the month list. They recommend 'Twas the Night Before Pride for elementary school at young adults. The night before Pride, the night before people celebrate who they have sex with. That's a fantastic book for children. And Milo and Marcus at the End of the World, a gay romance about a boy hiding his sexuality from his deeply religious parents and faith community. So there you go. That's the NEA reading, some of the NEA reading book list or whatever. FTG to the National Education Association. Did I mention, did we do FTG to Gavin Newsom too? FTG, Gavin Newsom. And FTG NEA. There we go. For your view, for your participation pleasure and whatnot. Oops. Let's fix that. I got to do that in Rumble too. There we go. There we did our first FTGs of the day. All right, let's move on. What's this? Oh, in more education news. Oh, so anyone here from Pennsylvania besides Gunfox, who's probably not here today? So it was looking like in the Pennsylvania legislature, there was going to be the Pennsylvania legislature passed basically a school choice law, right? And they thought that the governor was going to, sign it. It sounded like he was going to sign it, right? Because it's a very popular law, and I don't know if they have enough people to override it. But unfortunately, the governor caved. Governor Josh Shapiro caved to the teachers union on school choice. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro dropped his previous demands for a $100 million school voucher program for the state budget after fierce opposition from teachers unions and other Democrats. Well, that's redundant. The voucher program was supported by the Republican-controlled state Senate, but stalled in the Democratic state House while they thought they had the votes at the House too, and the governor was ready to sign it, but apparently they didn't pass it in the House there. While the budget contained many Democratic priorities, such as increased spending for education and state funding for legal defense, Pennsylvania is currently the only state that does not fund public defenders. That responsibility rests with its counties. The voucher program faced fierce competition from the Pennsylvania State Education Association, the largest teachers union in the state. The opposition was enough to stall the state budget past the June 30th deadline, leading Shapiro to back down. So, let's see. What is that? Let's just give an FTG to the, what is it? Pennsylvania, PSEA. FTG to the PSEA, the Pennsylvania State Education Association, because I truly believe that we've got to get away from the school model that we have. It's not working. We have too many kids in failing schools. We need to give parents options to get kids into better schools. And a lot of it, with the money that the states, counties, whatever, are spending on schools, went with the kids to the institutions they go to, you might actually have there might be a little competition. People be losing jobs, and they might have to do their jobs better. And the other part, a lot of it too, is we need to have some kind of a system that convinces kids that if they do well in school, they'll have a better life when they get done. And that's maybe a bigger challenge. But there are parents that really want to get them out of these terrible school systems where just, I really truly think that in some school systems have completely given up and just are so discouraged by, first of all, lack of motivation, I'm not even sure it's lack of motivation, but lack of culture of the fact that if you learn how to do some shit, you'll be better off in life. And also, I think, one, schools got to stop teaching people what to think and just how to think, how to do the basic math, reading, whatever you have to get through life, and also basic skills. It's a problem in our college, even our college system, where one of the reasons college costs so much is they require you to have 130 credits and let's as an example, let's say they have to have 130 credits to graduate, but really only about 40 credits are within your major or what requirements to do what you went to college to do. And the rest is just other shit that you have to do for, some people don't need that. If I'm going to, let's say I want to just go in and learn how to code or be in a computer science, I want to take 7 computer science classes and leave. But no, then you take 40 classes over 4 years or, 40, 50 classes over 4 years. And most of them have nothing to do with what you want to do. Now, sure, you want to have well-rounded people, but people can be well-rounded on their own. They can go out and read, great literature or, but they don't need a class on why we changed the genders in, our system of how we determine genders and shit. So anyway, there's a whole lot of problems, but so that's a loss. That is an absolute loss for the children of Pennsylvania, as far as I'm concerned, especially ones who are stuck in these schools. Let's see here. Now, just a couple of interesting articles here. This one for PJ Media. Just watch these clips and tell me you really think Biden will make it through the 2024 campaign. Well, let's see what we're talking about here. Joe Biden faced questions about his physical and mental health for a long time now. He managed to avoid being too accessible to the public in 2020 because of the pandemic. But now he doesn't have the pandemic as cover for avoiding playing the role of the president daily. The amount of pressure that Joe Biden is under to appear in control is just as high as if not higher than the exposure he has. There's simply no easy way to hide him away. And it's going to be hilarious. Hello, Chris Kroll. How you doing? So anyway, President Joe has a lot of public obligations. On Independence Day, the birth of our nation, he was front and center and was a big gaffe machine, as you expect. During a National Education Association event in Washington, D.C., Biden became a garbled mess trying to read his script off the teleprompter. So let's see what he says here.
Probably, but children are the kite strings. They're not somebody else's children. They're all our children. Are the kite strings that lift our national ambitions aloft. And you hold those strings. You hold those strings.
What? Here's the transcript. In probably but children are the kite strings. I'm sorry, they're not somebody else shitting. All the shitting children, the key strings that lift our nation ambitions aloft. The whole strings. That is the transcript. In fact, here's what I want to do. All right, I'm going to expand this out. Let's see something here. I want to see something. Let's watch the sign language interpreter during this. Let's play this again. Focus on the sign language interpreter. And if any of you read American Sign Language, let me know what she signed here. Here we go. Let's try it.
Probably, but children are the kite strings. They're not somebody else's children. They're all our children. Are the kite strings that lift our national ambitions aloft. And you hold those strings. You hold those.
Oh my gosh, did you see how she just stopped? She just stopped. Wait, watch it again. She had no idea. She had no idea. Usually they keep going and she had no idea.
Probably, but children are the kite strings. They're not somebody else's children. They're all our children. Are the kite strings that lift our national ambitions aloft. And you hold those strings. You hold those strings.
Okay, so anyway, she had no idea what to do. Also, let's see. Let's try another one here. Oh, it's getting worse. This is, what is this? Later on, Biden proudly highlighted the achievement of the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, claiming that it was successfully helped teachers pay off student loan debt. In addition to getting the name of the program wrong, he attempted to explain to the educators present how to find information about the program. He completely lost track of what he was trying to say. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Listen. We'll full screen this too.
And by the way, the program is still there. You ought to...
Wait, go to anyway, what?
To make sure you know exactly how to qualify.
Okay, what? Wait, there's a glitch there. Let's try it again.
And by the way, the program is still there. You ought to contact us to make sure you know exactly how to qualify.
Okay, okay. Well, okay, I'm sure they know where to qualify. But anyway, it's a common occurrence with Joe Biden, and it's I know. I shouldn't make fun of the man's stutter. Okay, I shouldn't make fun of the man's stutter. Yeah, the glitch is that asshole. Yes, the glitch is him. The glitch is he. So, here, we'll just for this we'll just say FTG glitch. We should. Oh man, that's what we could do. We could make him a new nickname. Just call him Glitch, President Glitch. FTG President Glitch. All right, let's move on. Oh, and Politico. Okay, remember I said the you know how I've been saying forever that Joe Biden will not be the nominee in 2024. And what we've been seeing lately, we've been seeing a lot of the media is starting to be critical of Joe Biden, right? Media's been critical of Joe Biden, and ABC, NBC, CNN, all have put out pieces which haven't happened up until recently. Like, if you talk about Joe Biden, it better be something positive, and the economy's great, and he's saving the world, and whatever. But now, as you're starting to see little pieces where, the matrix is broken. Matrix is broken. Well, there was an op-ed in Politico, which is, kind of a mainstream publication now, right? They tend to gloss over the foibles of the current President Glitch. Well, Politico op-ed says Democrats should primary Biden to see if he's capable of running in the general election. Oh my, that deserves one of these. So here it is. Why Democrats should primary Biden. In the middle of the last century, prize fighters who weren't fighting frequently enough to keep sharp would schedule tune-up matches with capable boxers to shake the ring rust out of their form. Their managers wouldn't pick palookas or chumps, but boxers who could challenge their guy in a way that would reveal his weaknesses, indicate what part of his game needs more training. President Biden needs a tune-up. He's stiff when speaking at the lectern. When not a stiff, the 80-year-old can be adult, saying, as he did last week, that Russian President Vladimir Putin is losing the war in Iraq when he meant Ukraine, or blurting out senseless "God save the Queen" man at a gun control rally last week. The English language has never been his friend, so it's logical that his managers, or aides, have limited his exposure to the press. No president since the equally doddering Ronald Reagan has held so few press conferences. Not since Ray Leonard's ill-advised third comeback has a contestant seemed so out of condition for the big rumble. Okay, the equally doddering Ronald Reagan. Okay, I'm sorry. Even when Ronald Reagan was beginning to show signs, he could speak to a crowd. Okay, he could talk to election. He could talk to reporters. It's not the same thing right now. Now, Biden has actual challengers in Marianne Williams and Robert Kennedy Jr., but according to Schaefer, they wouldn't be good for this effort. Biden needs real candidates to challenge him. Who are they going to call? You know who? Gavin Newsom. Governor Gavin Newsom of California is already acting like the president in exile, proposing new gun control constitutional amendment, working to ban gas-powered cars, and threatening to arrest Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for kidnapping migrants. Like Newsom, Pete Buttigieg wears his presidential ambitions on his forehead like a bumper sticker and a cock. It doesn't say that. Sorry. There's surely not a moment that he's not thinking about being president, so why not act on those instincts, the same ones that launched him from a mid-city mayor to transportation secretary? No, there's only one reason he's transportation secretary, and that might be that other thing on his forehead. Anyway, now here comes the most hilarious yet sad passage of the column. Besides putting him in fighting trim, or not, primary advisories would prepare us for the all too real possibility that he's incapacitated by a stroke, seriously injured in one of his frequent falls, or another bike crash, or just dies one evening. What? What? Damn, they went deep. Schaefer's right to be concerned about this. Just last week, NBC News reported that 68% of voters have questions about Biden's fitness. 68% of all voters say they have concerns about Biden having the necessary mental and physical health to be president, including 55% who say they have major concerns. 55% of voters have major concerns about his health. Now, think about that number. 68% have concerns, 55% have major concerns. What percentage of Americans are Republicans? About 35%. What percentage of Americans are Democrats? About 36%. So even if it's just all the Republicans and all the independents, that adds up to about probably around 55%. That's not good. And as Joe Biden would say, that's not good. Now, what stands out is how concerns about Biden's mental and physical fitness have grown since we last asked the question in October 2020, when 51% of voters said they had concerns, with 38% having major concerns. Check out these numbers in 2020. 21% of Democrats said they had moderate to major concerns in Biden's fitness. Now it's 43% of Democrats say it. Anyone want to change their answer from yesterday? Who will be the nominee? I should have put just Joe Biden or any other Democrat in the race. I don't think it's going to be Joe Biden. I honestly don't. That's wild. That is wild. All right, let's move on. More Pentagon news. Pentagon review of themselves has found no systemic problem with keeping secrets after a massive doc leak. The Pentagon probe concluded that no systemic counterintelligence weakness allowed the massive document leak that came to light in April, even after investigators found the leaker violated procedure on multiple occasions. The Department of Defense efforts to keep the secret safe have not kept pace with the rapid proliferation of stations and personnel that handle intelligence. The probe, of which findings released Wednesday, further concluded Jack Teixeira, I guess that's his name, the 21-year-old information technician for the Massachusetts Air National Guard, accused of spilling hundreds of classified documents online, was warned twice in 2022 for conducting broad searches in the U.S. intelligence networks and taking notes on classified documents, but retained a security clearance according to court documents. Look. Hi, Next Gen Troll. What's up? The Pentagon has reviewed their plan and their systems, and they say their systems are good. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. They've checked their list and or made their list and checked them twice. Found out there's no more people naughty or nice giving out secrets, and there is no systemic problem. They promise. Excuse me. Let me just do something here. FTG Pentagon. All right, next. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper vetoed a bill in North Carolina that would protect women's sports on Wednesday. Now, we're not sure what the hell's going on here. HB 574, which is titled the Fairness of Women's Sports Act and passed with bipartisan supermajorities in both houses. Okay, this they might override his veto. Would prohibit men from playing in women's sports in middle schools, high schools, and universities. Quote, this is the governor. Okay, the governor said, we don't need politicians inflaming their political culture wars by making broad, uninformed decisions about an extremely small number of vulnerable children that are already handled by a robust system that relies on parents, schools, and sports organizations, the Democratic governor stated. Republican governors in other states have vetoed similar bills because they hurt their state's reputation and economy because they're neither fair or needed. Really? The Fairness of Women's Sports Act was passed with the support of 2 Democrats in the state legislature, Michael Ray in the House and Senator Val Applewhite in the Senate. If Cooper's veto is overridden, the bill would apply to all public schools and any private school that competes against public schools. Applewhite said that her vote was a tough decision to make and was based on conversations with coaches and other constituents in her district. One umpire told the Democrat that changes in strength levels between boys and girls can start as soon as 7 years old. That is true. I even reached out to some members of the LGBTQ community who said they understood it as well. The state senator told the News and Observer, I think it's a misnomer to think that everyone in that community feels the same way. They are not one groupthink. That is true also. I name people online that in the LGBT community who agree with this law. According to the Fayetteville Observer, Applewhite received bad threats after her vote. When approached by the News and Observer, Ray declined to comment on why he supported the bill. So anyway, so Cooper vetoed this bill. There is a chance it'll be overridden because it was super majorities. We'll see what happens. That's dumb. FTG Roy Cooper. In fact, FTG Roy Cooper. Let's see in PJ Media. Oh, so we had this bill that, or the Supreme Court made the decision in the 303 Creative versus Elenis. Depending on your point of view, the Supreme Court Friday decision in 303 Creative versus Elenis was either a great moment in American jurisprudence or the day that will live in infamy. There are accusations floating around the mainstream media that a piece of evidence referenced by each side was falsified. Alongside that story, there are whispers of attorneys being disbarred over the matter. That didn't take long, did it? But even before that, leftists were quick to stand up in outrage and state that the ruling gave them the right to refuse service to conservatives, notably Trump supporters. CBS reported that Michael Imperioli, who was known for his roles in The Sopranos, Goodfellas, and The White Lotus, declared that bigots and homophobes were forbidden to watch his work, as he said on an Instagram post. He later backtracked on that, by the way. Now, we know that The Sopranos has been lauded as a landmark program, but from what we've seen, it has been incredible. It was an incredibly violent depiction of a sadly dysfunctional family whose problems were exacerbated by the father's involvement in organized crime. Asked former made man Michael Franzese about how my life can affect a family. No Sopranos, we'll get by. But some left-leaning shop owners and entrepreneurs have followed suit, posting signs at assorted venues informing conservatives, Trump supporters, and the usual suspects that they are each now persona non grata and should take their business elsewhere. The fear, panic, and regret that these business owners had hoped for did not materialize. American Wire had some examples of their reactions. So here it is. Since the Supreme Court has ruled that businesses can discriminate, no sales to Trump supporters. And then we only sell to churches that fly a pride flag. Good God. Hello, Hey Camel, what's up? And Aaron Meredith, too. But some people are like, I accept these terms. Better than unknowingly filling the pockets of business owners who are closeted leftists, the transparency is appreciated. So, anyway, yeah, that's not going to fly. That's just stupid. And we'll just move on. We're almost done here. Let's get, I'll tell you what else is left. Apparently there's a New Orleans Museum of Art is under fire for hiring a white woman as the new African art curator. Oh no! Oh no! The New Orleans Museum of Art has sparked outrage over its decision to hire a white woman as the new curator of African art, citing her breadth of experience in the field rather than a person of color. Oh no, she's a white lady. If she's an expert on African art, I don't care. But, some people get bent out of shape. That's the outrage of the day. Lynn Wood is retiring. Lynn Wood, the Trump lawyer, and he was the guy who actually wasn't he one of the lawyers for one of the Covington kids? I thought, or not Nick, whatever his name, Salmon, but he was the lawyer for the rest of the Covington kids, and I don't know whatever happened with that. But he has retired because they've threatened to disbar him for trying to find legal means of keeping President Trump in office. And so he's decided that he is going to retire. He also, for a minute, represented Kyle Rittenhouse, but then Kyle got new lawyers because Linwood was not steering him in a direction that they felt comfortable with. And thank goodness, because I think the guys that did do the Rittenhouse case did a fairly good job, and obviously they won the case. All right. Now, I do have some Hunter Biden news. Apparently, they have found, this is interesting. This is really interesting. Let's look at this Breitbart article. Hunter Biden was CC'd, aka carbon copied, that's what CC stand for. If you don't know that, you're not very old. But he got CC'd, he got copied on an email to Vice President Joe Biden about a call with the Ukrainian president. They have some evidence here that ain't looking good for the former Vice President of the United States. A staffer for then Vice President Joe Biden copied Hunter Biden on an email to Joe about a scheduled call with former Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko. A document released by the National Archives due to a Freedom of Information request shows. How did they get this one? You know how they stonewall all the Freedom of Information requests? How did they get this one through? Is this by design? While Hunter Biden earned $83,000 a month as a board member of Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian energy company, Joe Biden's assistant, John Flynn, looped in Hunter on a scheduling email dated May 26, 2016, about a call between Joe Biden and Poroshenko, the Washington Times reported on the FOIA. Flynn wrote to Joe and Hunter Biden, quote, "Boss, 8:45 a.m., prep for 9 a.m. phone call with President Poroshenko. Then we're off to Rhode Island for infrastructure event and then Wilmington for a University of Delaware commencement. Nate will have your draft remarks delivered later tonight with your press clips in the morning." Now, why would he copy Hunter Biden on this? On May 27, 2016, the call took place. Joe Biden urged Poroshenko to reform Ukraine's prosecutor general office, the established media reporter. So he was carbon copied, CC'd, copied on the call that he was pressuring Poroshenko. Oh boy. The walls are closing in. Yeah. That's pretty earth-shaking. Funny, it's only in the what was that? Was it the Breitbart and the Washington Times? Very interesting. Maybe. Well, I think the Washington Times did the request. Okay, we're gonna move on and just finish out what's left of the articles that I'm not going to get to. Apparently, the corruption case witness, Dr. Gal Luft, details allegations against the president's family in a extraordinary video. Now, I don't know what they mean by missing. The missing witness from the Biden corruption investigation, Israeli professor Dr. Gal Luft, has laid out his bribery allegations against the president's family in an extraordinary video filmed in an undisclosed location while he's on the run. He's on the run? Wait, what? The 14-minute recording obtained exclusively by the Post. The former fugitive Israeli army officer claims he was arrested in Cyprus to stop him from testifying to the House Oversight Committee that the Biden family received payments from individuals with alleged ties to Chinese military intelligence and that they had an FBI mole who shared classified information with their benefactors from the China-controlled energy company CEFC. Now, I don't know if any of this video is true, but they have the full video in the New York Post right here. I'll have this one in the links. Does anyone believe anything the Bidens say about this anymore? Moving on, holiday weekend news dump implodes Merrick Garland's Biden investigation testimony. So remember, there's a possibility that Merrick Garland committed perjury. A new letter sent by Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss to the House Judiciary Committee suggests Attorney General Merrick Garland lied to Congress when he testified that Weiss, quote, has full authority, end quote, to charge Hunter Biden in other jurisdictions. Whether Garland committed perjury will all come out down to the meaning of the word has. Like we don't know what the meaning of is. Now we got to learn what the meaning of has is. Late Friday, just as Americans unplugged from the long Independence Day weekend, Weiss confirmed he didn't really have ultimate authority over the Hunter Biden criminal investigation. In his letter, Weiss gave away the deceptive word game he has been playing with Congress, and Garland has been playing with America. More significantly, the letter suggests Biden's Attorney General lied to Congress and that everything the IRS whistleblower said is true. So that means the Justice Department interfered in the prosecution of the president's son? Oh, man. There's a whole lot more in here, but you got to read it. I'll put the link in the description. Also, Joe Biden apparently isn't the first Democratic president to have cocaine at the White House. I think they say that, President Clinton might have had some cocaine at the White House. John F. Kennedy apparently used illicit drugs to treat his chronic health issues. And I think one of the Roosevelts, would that be Franklin Roosevelt? FDR? Anyway, there have been other presidents. Oh, President Franklin Roosevelt was potentially given cocaine regularly to treat sinus problems. Well, back then it was illegal. It was a legal drug. They thought it was a wonder drug. So it's a little different when Roosevelt was doing it than when Hunter Biden was doing it on the White House balcony. So anyway, that's just an interesting tidbit. By the way, Donald Trump has said that, hey, wherever they found this cocaine, well, there would be security tapes all over the White House that would have video of whoever left the cocaine there. So they probably should just look over the security tapes. All right. And for what's left is, by the way, apparently if there is Department of Justice misconduct, the Trump case against Trump, at least the federal case, could be dropped. The conduct claimed is perhaps unprecedented and certainly flagrant. If proven true, the judge would well be within her rights to consider dismissal. Lost in the breathless headlines over the indictment of President Trump for alleged violations of the Espionage Act is a story that deserves much more attention than that it has received thus far. The allegation that a senior official at the Department of Justice attempted to shake down Trump's co-defendant lawyer. It is a scandal in the making that could result in the investigation of senior DOJ officials, which should lead to the public congressional hearings, and it might even result in the entire case against Trump being dismissed. So anyway, they had, let's see. I'm going to make you read it because I got to go. But definitely read this one. Let's see. Oh, the Biden administration is going to appeal the injunction preventing it from coordinating with social media to suppress speech. I want this to go higher up. I want this to go to the appeals court. I'd love to see it to go to the Supreme Court and see if the three stooges or the three stoogettes are going to follow the Constitution this time. It'd be interesting if that made it all the way to the Supreme Court. But let's see. Here's what Latrine had to say.
And specifically, do you disagree with the judge's ruling that this coordination was a form of censorship that specifically targeted?
Of course it was a form of censorship.
Look,
we disagree with the decision, I'll leave it there, and I'm going to let DOJ move forward
Blah
with their
blah blah blah
evaluating
blah blah
process.
blah blah
Okay.
blah. Yeah. So anyway, they're going to appeal that decision. Then whatever's left here is corporate media outraged by the judge stopping Biden's social media censorship, demands conservative voices be silenced. Oh, this was on CNN. This is here. We got a minute 48. Let's play this one. They were mad about this decision, by the way. They were mad that the judge in Louisiana said that the White House couldn't tell people what social media, what post to take down.
Trump-appointed judge, but this judge was confirmed 98-0 by the Senate.
Yeah, what she started with was, well, this is a Trump-appointed judge.
This is a Trump-appointed judge.
Trump-appointed judge.
This judge was confirmed 98-0 by the Senate. Just reading the words in this injunction, a, quote, massive effort by the defendants to suppress speech based on content, those are the judge's words, calling the present case, quote, arguably involves the most massive attack against free speech
It
in the
is!
United States history, Ellie.
Yeah. It's a dramatic decision by this judge. If you read through it, he's citing to literature and George Washington and Ben Franklin. Here's what really is astonishing to me. This is a conservative ideology that clearly comes through in this.
Guess what? Conservative ideologies are legal, and you're allowed to express them.
Decision. It's a conservative political ideology, right? We saw some of the quotes questioning vaccines, questioning masks, conservative talking points.
But are they legal speech, which the White House has no business in asking social media companies to take down? Even if they're wrong, even if they're outlandishly wrong, even if they're lies. The United States government, no branch of the United States government has any right to take it down, to force social media companies to take it down. These were not suggestions. These were, that's a nice business you have there. You might want to give us some money to protect it. That's the kind of coercion it was from the federal government to the social media companies.
But the ruling itself is the opposite of judicial conservatism. This is one of the most aggressive, far-reaching rulings you'll ever see. What this judge is purporting to do is to micromanage, really, the day-to-day interactions between essentially the entire executive branch, all these agencies that are listed as defendants, and the leading social media companies. And in the actual temporary injunction, the judge basically says, you're not allowed, administration, to talk to these social media companies about any protected free speech except for cybersecurity threats, national security threats, criminal threats. But where's the line? Who's going to police this? This is a judge.
Who's going to police what? Who's going to police what? They have no business policing anything.
Trying to micromanage the day-to-day regular activities of the entire executive branch. I don't know that it's actually policeable by the judge, but it's really an astonishing. I don't mean this necessarily as a criticism. This is a very activist judicial opinion.
Sarah, I think Ellie gets to the point that I've been trying to figure out throughout the course of the last 24 hours. We were texting about this yesterday in terms of how significant it is. If you look behind the scenes, communication between the federal government.
Okay, they had no business. They had no business telling social media companies, flagging accounts and telling them, oh, you should probably take this down. All right, then the last one here. So remember we were talking about the political bias of the national debate, high school debate competitions. Well, apparently this high school girl has said, F you. Listen to this. We're going to finish with this. This is brilliant. The reports from Jane Fishwick about changing the political nature of high school debates. There are certain topics and points of view that progressive debate judges are blocking and refusing to hear. One high school debater named Brianna Watley recently posted a video on Twitter which she takes on the bias of the National Speech and Debate Association. So let's listen to this real quick.
I listened to James Fishback's Twitter space on the hijacking of high school debate, and I have a couple comments. For one, it was just a couple months ago.
Oops, sorry there.
Me not to mention President Trump because she deemed it inappropriate. See, she couldn't put her personal ideology to the side to judge me impartially. It's happening. I'm not the only student that has had to self-censor in debates. Now, there was a specific debate coach on the Twitter space last night that stated arguing against systemic racism is the same as arguing the sky is green. That is the issue. It is no wonder why students like myself are not being judged impartially, but rather on how closely we align to our judges' personal beliefs. Now, what's more alarming is the National Speech and Debate Association themselves. They released a topic stating, "How does race-based affirmative action benefit Black Americans?" Completely disregarding the other side of debate of how affirmative action could be a detriment. It's important we look at that topic they released because it was just today that the Supreme Court ruled affirmative action unconstitutional. See, why is it so difficult for the National Speech and Debate Association to condemn the judge that told me not to mention President Trump, or the one that openly says in their paradigm that they will not vote for pro-capitalist arguments? Why is it so difficult? The NSDA and judges alike need to stop inputting their own narratives into our debates.
All right, so kudos to this young lady for taking a stand on their bullshit. What is this called? The NSDA, FTG to the NSDA. And on that note, guys, I got to go. I got to be abrupt today because I'm way behind. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Please do your thing, hit the like button, all that stuff. Share the stream before, during, after. And you can sponsor the show like Retro Veteran Gamer, like Chicago Mike, like FTG Farms through Rumble Streamlabs, but not YouTube because I'm demonetized. FTG to YouTube. FTG to YouTube. And on that note, thank you. Got to go. My name's Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.